What's up, guys? It's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I hope you're ready for another challenge event. We are going back to the Wonderland family for Challenge Festival 1, and we have a couple of new heroes in the portal, including the Nave of Hearts, and we've also got a nice new costume for our old friend, the Mad Hatter. So we're going to have a quick look at these guys today. I just want to sort of start off with the Nave of Hearts, looking like the heartthrob of Wonderland. So he is our newest hero in the Wonderland family. He is of the barbarian class, and this has been mentioned to me actually in terms of the family bonus or the talent class. There's been a bit of a change around in the description, so I just want to go over this before we have a look at him. So it says here now for the wound effect, which obviously gives bleed damage. It says after any normal attack, 30% chance to activate the following effect. So 60% of the damage done by the normal attack over 5 turns. If the target already has the ailment, the previous ailment's remaining damage is added to the new ailment as additional damage. I think I did get this in one of the comments, and I wasn't quite on point in terms of understanding what you were trying to say. So I do apologize to that person, but I'm a bigger fan of the bleed damage effect now. Having a look over that description, I do kind of like that. It gives you a better idea of how much that damage is going to stack. And obviously there are sort of areas where it can be effective. I'm not saying that it's suddenly overnight changed into my favorite talent class, but it definitely seems like they are trying to do a little bit of work there. Now let's get back to the Knave of Hearts. In any case, so he is a dark hero. He is of the Wonderland family. So just to recap, you get a bonus for 2 or more heroes. Anything from 2% to 12% increased mana generation. Anywhere from 5% to 20% increased critical chance. It is a really, really good family bonus, but you do need multiples of these heroes. And I mean, I think with things like Jabberwock being given the mindless attack and things like that, you might find a bit more usability for the Wonderland family. So anyways, in terms of team power, he is running a team power of 1037, so that is well in line with the most powerful heroes we have at the moment. 1079 on the attack, 999 on the defense, and 1823 on his health. So he's built more for attack and HP, which is probably a good thing, because the defense at nearly 1000 really is neither here nor there. I'd rather have the increased attack, to be fair. If we look at him with the limit breaks and emblems on, obviously stats are going through the roof, and he does benefit from the dodge ether talent. Again, it's kind of a mid-range one for me. So his talent class and his ether talent are not going to be what makes you level this hero up, put it that way. Now, in terms of his special, so it's called Stolen Tarts. Very nice play on words there. Stolen Hearts, Stolen Tarts. I like that. He is running at fast speed. And at fast speed, he's going to deal 300% damage to the target and nearby. Very decent hit at fast speed. The target then automatically casts Mindless Attack on a random ally when mana is full at the start of a turn during 3 turns. And he summons a Tart minion for each ally with 10% HP and 32% attack inherited from the caster. The minion recovers 10% health for its owner when it is defeated. Okay, so let's break this guy's special down. The first thing he's doing is 300% damage to the target and nearby. That is a pretty good hit. And then the target automatically casts Mindless Attack on a random ally for 3 turns. I mean, that special is pretty awesome. 300% hit, Mindless Attack to a random ally. To the target, sorry, over 3 turns. It is a very, 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 very good special, don't get me wrong. But the only problem is we do have another hero that can do this. And in fact, I do have her in my roster. So if you'll bear with me for one moment, I'm just going to grab my roster up here. So I was lucky enough to grab Medea. She's almost, I've just second limit broken her. And she's performing pretty damn well. But if we look at her first Tide, which is running at fast speed, she deals 365% damage to the target and nearby. So that's 65% more damage to the target and nearby enemies. Then the target automatically casts a shifting Mindless Attack on a random ally for 3 turns. Now, In my opinion, the shifting mindless attack is far better, because when the effect's triggered, the duration, or when it shifts to a hit ally, the duration's refreshed. So, and then on top of that, the target nearby get a 50% decrease for any healing received for 3 turns. So, I mean, just reading over that, which one do you think is better? I mean, in my opinion, Medea's, hands down, the better hero, and she's not as recently released. So I think that is going to be a problem with Mr. Nave of Hearts, and I think that it's going to make him a bit less desirable in this portal. That being said, he's not a bad hero. He is a good hero, and the effect is really, really effective. However, there are other heroes in the same element that can do it better. That's all I'm saying. And then the minion, there's really nothing to say about the minion. I mean, when the minion destroyed, it recovers 10% health for its owner. I mean, that is pretty good, because if you're sort of killing the minion, the owner gets a little bit of a health boost. But 10% is probably not going to be enough for it to really matter. It'll come into effect sometimes, but it won't all the time. So yeah, what do I think of him? I think he's a great hero. I like that he's running at fast speed. But because there are some, other examples of better heroes, like we just looked at with Medea, I would say I'll give him an A grade. I think that's about his ceiling, the highest that he can reach at the moment. But congrats if you do manage to grab this guy. I think he is pretty cool. Now, the Hatter. The Hatter is a superb hero, just an insanely good effect, and just a very, very unique kind of hero. So we've had him around. He's been around for ages, and he has been in desperate need of a stat boost. So let's go ahead and we'll have a look at him now. So let's start with the class. So he was a cleric, which gave him the chance to withstand or resist negative mana effects and status effects that prevent the use of special skills, which I really like. He is now a wizard, and it now gives him, when dealing damage through normal attacks and special skills, a 25% chance to deal 15% extra damage per each active buff. Now, that is a pretty good class for him, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But in terms of the family, he's got the same family bonus for the Wonderland heroes, so we won't go over that again. Big news is the stat boost. So the costume bonus, attack bonus of 20%, defense 20%, health 35%, and mana of 5%. So we're beefing up the Hatter's stats. And if we switch off the max power preview, I was getting so excited, but look at that. It's not that big of a difference. 926 compared to the other new hero with 1,030 odd, or whatever it was. These heroes need a bigger bump. I mean, those numbers might feel pretty high, but they really need to be higher. They need to be in line with the toons that we're seeing. Those bonuses are not good enough. I mean, what's the hero of the month? Let's just have a look at Zaga. 931 for Zaga. So he is less powerful than a hero of the month. And that is a brand new costume that we're having released for this hero. So just in case anybody's listening, you need to increase the power of these heroes more, because they're not in line with what you're releasing with the other new heroes. Okay, so that being said, he does get a new passive, which is awesome. So mindless attack on special skill. When he casts his special skill, he has a 50% chance to give mindless attack for 3 turns to a random enemy. It is a random enemy. You can't target the mindless attack, but it is a nice added bonus. Now, in terms of the special skill, let's have a quick look over here. I'm going to switch the max power preview on again, so we can see his non-costume version benefits from the ailment reflect, which is a fantastic ether talent, and very few heroes have it. So at the beginning of each battle, they reflect status ailments to a random character on the opposing team for 6 turns. 6 turns at the beginning of a battle. So that is a long time. Now he's got counterattack. Counterattack is by far a worse ether talent than he had in his original version. So let's see if the costume version's any better. So he's going to be dealing 400% damage to the target and minor damage to the nearby enemies. That is exactly the same as he was in his original version. He's then going to steal all dispellable buffs from all enemies and randomly distribute them on all allies. Now, this is what makes him such an amazing hero, because he takes all of the dispellable buffs and he gives them to your team. and there is no other hero that does it as well as the Hatter does. So he is fantastic just for that primary effect. But that being said, it's no different than his original. So he steals all dispellable buffs from all enemies and randomly distributes them on allies. And then he summons a playing card minion now with 25% HP and 40% attack inherited from the caster. That is really not... I mean, it's just a minion for himself. It's not going to do anything unique. It's just giving him a little bit of a meat shield. It's got 25% HP and 40% attack. It's just not making this hero any better. So what they've done is they've given him a new hat and a new set of clothes, but they've kept the special exactly the same. There is no difference in terms of the special. What he has had, though, is a change around in terms of the ether talent, which I'm not a fan of, and a change around in terms of the class. Now, because he's dispelling buffs, you could argue that the wizard class is pretty okay for him, and that's where I was going initially. But to be honest, if I pulled this version of the Hatter, I would level him up and max him, but just so that I could use this version. And even though it only shows the passive on the card here, I believe that the passive of the mindless attack will apply to the original costume as well. So if you do grab the Hatter, congratulations. You should definitely max him. He's a fantastic hero. But at the end of the day, this is the version that you're going to want to use. The original version, to me, in every way, shape, and form, is better. The only thing you're going to be losing out on is that little minion, but everything else will be better for you. So I hope that all makes sense. In summary, I really do like the Hatter. I think he's an amazing hero, but they haven't done anything new, which is kind of disappointing, but they know they've got a good hero, so that might be why. And then in terms of Nave of Hearts, again, like I said before, I think he's a good hero, but not a great hero. He's not S tier. In my mind, I don't think he is going to be that. But yeah, that being said, I'll be very interested to hear your guys' thoughts on these heroes. So please do drop me a comment. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on these heroes as well. And do drop us a like as well, and please subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any future videos. But that is pretty much everything for now, so I wish you guys all the best of luck in the challenge event. If you're going for the top scores, good luck to you guys, and I will see you all again in the next video. Bye for now.